Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Yo, Elizabeth Dutton. What are you doing?
Zaron.
How you been, girl?
I'm good. Good.
Do you know what's ridiculous?
I do. I do.
You want to share it with me?
Collective nouns.
What do you mean?
Well, like groups of things like murder of crows.
Yeah,
But if
parliament of owls.
Zaron, have you ever done a deep dive on collective nouns?
Oh, completely.
Son?
Yo, yeah.
Have you looked at them?
I used to use those as a way to calm myself down in anxious moments.
Okay, I don't want to know about that. There's like a colony of bats. You know what jugglers is?
A juggalo of jugglers?
A never thing of jugglers.
Oh, that's fun.
Which, you never see a group of well, I guess you do see a group of jugglers outside the loser convent. No, I'm just kidding.
Is there a collective noun for silences?
Shh. There's a rumba of rattlesnakes.
Oh, that's cool.
And the kingdom of rats, which is kind of like a rat king.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which don't Google that, people. And my favorite, a death row of turkeys.
Oh, that is good.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of these, there are multiple collective nouns for these groups, but a death row of turkeys.
Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah.
Is there a writing desk of ravens?
Sure. Nevermore.
Well, I've got something ridiculous for you if you got a second.
It's probably way more ridiculous than that. I have all the time in the world.
Oh, excellent. Because this one, it's a wild one, and it'll take me a second to tell it to you. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
It's about a Texas town, and I like Texas towns. And this Texas town in particular gets taken over by 1,200 college-age military cadets who are eager to win a rivalry prank war that involves, take notes.
Yes.
2 private detectives, multiple high-speed car chases, a night raid on an armory and a depot, a town's telephone lines being seized, casual gunfire, mass arrest, wrongful imprisonment, and a 200-pound owl.
Oh, okay.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous. Elizabeth.
Zaron.
Before we dive into the insanity of this story, I'd like to give you a little context.
I love context.
Yeah, right? I figure you do. Now, you also love Reddit, right?
I do.
Yeah, I don't really check on Reddit as much
anybody.
as you do. But I know you like it.
I'm a lurker.
Yeah.
I don't post. I just
You just
lurk.
read.
Yeah.
Sorry, lurk, rather. Well, there was a post a couple days ago. You might have seen it. I don't know. This guy put forward a theory that the University of Alabama doesn't exist.
I missed that one.
Yeah, and he said basically, well, I'll just quote it. He said, conspiracy theory, quote, Alabama is not an actual school, it is just a football team. And then he makes his case. And I continue to quote. The title says it all. I don't think Alabama truly exists as a school. There are no classes. If you somehow break into one of the buildings on campus, you'll find dusty storage rooms with used jockstraps and satanic altars to Bear Bryant's demon ghost. I have met so many damn mini Alabama fans. Roll Tide, they say. And if you ask them what year they graduated, they will usually hit you with, I never been to college. Like, that's the most ridiculous thing they've ever heard. I live and work in the South. I've interacted with fans of every other SEC team, and most of them have actually attended the university they root for. I have never, not once, met an Alabama fan that went to Alabama.
That's incredible.
Right?
I can get behind that kind of theory.
Yes, no, he does, as you know, he gets a response on Reddit.
Of
and so
course.
He had to post an edit. And so I quote, there are some very humble gentlemen visiting me. Every word I've said is unjust. I now know. Maybe I've just been stressed lately, and I wanted to be the center of attention. Hopefully my new friends can correct my ignorance on the beauty of an Alabama education. Nick Saban is handsome and intelligent and every man or woman's dream. I have shown my jealousy of their degree programs, and anyone would be lucky to go to school in Tuscaloosa. May God have mercy on my soul, and may elephants trample me if I ever transgress again.
He should have held fast on that one.
I'm just glad he found the truth in the way of Alabama football.
That's true.
Because also, I'm legally required to say this because it'll be broadcast in Alabama. Roll Tide.
Yes.
So, there you go, Bear. Now, you lived in South Carolina. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
And they're an SEC-style, fanatics for football in that area. They got Clemson. You got the University of South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, does that hold true, like the Alabama fans, where you'd meet people who they're like, oh yeah, I love Clemson, and you're like, oh, what year did you graduate? And they're like, oh, I ain't never been to school.
100%.
Really?
100%. Yeah, I mean, when I moved down there, people would say, who do you root for, Clemson or USC? And of course, coming from California, I'm like, USC Trojans? Are you kidding me? And so then I was educated on that it's the Cox.
Mm-hmm. Go
and
Cox.
So everyone said I had to choose, and I was like Kelly on 90210, I choose me. So I didn't want to pick a side. But then I was, I'd ask people, oh, you went to Clemson. Were you an ag major of some sort?
Mm-hmm.
And no, they didn't go to Clemson. And same with almost every USC fan.
Really?
Yeah, that most of them didn't go to those schools. They went to college. They just didn't.
Went to smaller schools, and then they wanted to support the big.
But I'll tell you, the most maniacal fans are the Clemson fans who actually did go to Clemson.
Why are they most maniacal?
Like, that's all they wear, the clothes. Like, they don't own any other clothes
Just
than
all
Clemson
orange.
gear. And they're super into it, which hey, respect. You love your alma mater.
Yeah, fire up that tiger rag.
Yeah. But you know what? I choose me.
I'm so glad for that. Now, you went to Davis for college, and they have a football program. It's now an NCAA team. Did you go to games? Did you care about?
Like once or twice. They had, I went to games.
Did you? No, but was it like a thing? Like, because, I grew up in Davis. It was my hometown. So we rooted for UCD. And I know that idea of being the townie rooting. Now, obviously, it wasn't like, oh, I was like 11. So it wasn't like, oh, did you go to school there? Nobody thought that. But we'd see the players walking around town. They were huge to us. It might as well be like an NFL star, an NBA star. We loved the team. But we noticed the college kids, you guys you didn't know anything about the teams. You didn't know the game was on Saturday.
No, I kind of stumbled into it a couple times, and I was always distracted by the associative activities, like the t-shirt cannon.
The t-shirt? Oh, you mean like at the game?
At the game.
I was thinking on campus.
Where the fullback just fires a t-shirt cannon at the other players. No, and then here's the thing. Yeah. I seem to recall that I think I made this up, and now I think it's real.
Oh, this sounds good.
Someone put a burrito in the t-shirt cannon. I don't know if it really happened. I think I was imagining it, that they would go burrito madness and fire burritos that would explode when people try to catch them. But I guess, if you ask me, I'd be like, yeah, totally, I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't think that actually happened. It's all a blur.
College is a blur.
Burrito madness.
I love that. Well, that is
so that's
ridiculous.
About the extent of my football knowledge. I'm not a football person.
No, I know this. I definitely know this. It's the community aspect of football that I find really fascinating, especially college football, because people will, find themselves in a team and they will go to war for their team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which brings us to this story.
Ay.
So this story takes place in 1917, right? Now, that was the year that we would enter World War I. This is just before then. This is in January. We enter in April. This is in January.
Is that the year football was invented?
No. We can just say yes if that helps you. Sure. This is the year football was invented, Elizabeth.
Okay, cool.
And so when they're inventing the game of football, it took place in Texas. They invented football in Texas.
Interesting.
At Texas A&M, the Agricultural and Mechanical School. Yes, they were playing Rice University. But in this instance, since it was January, which is after football season, they decided to play a football game on the basketball court. And they wore basketball uniforms, and then they'd use a basketball.
How in the world?
So they
used a basketball.
Yeah, so they just played basketball. It was a basketball game.
They just really threw the basketball.
I'm just saying it's a basketball game.
Okay.
Yeah. I just didn't want you to get too jarred.
Yeah,
because I know you've just become a fan of football.
Yeah,
so.
It was just invented.
Yeah, it's a brand new sport.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah.
The basketball game that they played was Houston's Rice University versus College Station's Texas A&M, right? Big rivalry. Basketball was a huge sport at the time. And although it was a really interesting game because when they won the game, the score was 21-13. So Rice beats Texas A&M and embarrasses them 21-13.
That's like a football level score, not a basketball.
I'm glad you know that.
Yeah, I figured that one out.
So this was also the Texas A&M's first victory over a Rice sports team in 3 years, right? They're just fired up about this. They go big. They're celebrating. They're doing everything they can. They're getting drunk. They're yelling. They're screaming. They drive around in their Model T cars in the campus, right? But it's not enough. They need something else, a symbolic expression of their victory, something they can hold on to, right? Something to unite them and give them this moment. So what do? They're like, let's cast about and find something we can always have this feeling, right? And they find exactly what they need. The Texas A&M basketball players, some fans, some students, and some non-student alumni, they all discover that Rice has left their mascot behind, and it's unprotected, right? And their mascot is an owl that is about the size of a man, about a 6-foot tall owl. It's not real.
Oh, I was going to say.
It's a statue.
Wow, where did they find it?
It's got a wooden understructure. It has like a canvas skin stretched over it. It weighs 200 pounds. It is a huge structure.
Now,
right?
did a man climb up inside of it?
No, it's just a statue that they carry around. They plopped out.
An effigy.
Down. It's more of, yes, an effigy. That's probably the better way of putting it. So this effigy, this canvas creation of theirs, it's filled with sawdust and Excelsior, which is like stuffing material.
Sounds flammable.
Right? Isn't that a great word, Excelsior?
It
I always
is.
like that one. Stan Lee's favorite word.
Yeah.
It's also on the motto of the New York State. It just means like ever onward.
Stuffing.
Yeah. It also means stuffing. Yes. New York. Stuffing. So this wool stuffing that's filled in this bird is what gives it its volume, its weight, its shape, and then obviously
gravitas.
The wooden understructure, right? So the thing weighs 200 pounds and it's 6 foot tall. It's basically like picking up a man, right? Like a big football player sized guy. Now, these guys, they pick up this owl and they run off with it and they manage to like get away without any of the Rice students catching them, right? And then you have to keep in mind also that these Texas A&M students, they are corpsmen, they are cadets, because Texas A&M at this time was a military institute that required the students to be cadets. And
I didn't know that.
Coming in just a few months, these kids are all about to go off. They all will be released to go join World War I. And at this time, they're training for the war. So they're on war footing. They're like war crazed. They are already in a military mind. So they start to act like this is an operation.
Well, they're ready to get their faces shot off.
So they go and they grab this owl and they back off with it into the dark. They load it into a car. They drive to the train station. They load the owl onto the train station. They hand it over to the Wells Fargo agents. They go, get this back to College Station and don't tell anyone you have it. And they're like, okay, are you going to pay for this?
Right? That's all they care
That's
about.
all. Yeah, exactly. So they do. They put it on the train. They load it up and they take the owl back to Texas A&M, right? The Rice students, they learn about this when they read it in the news. The Texas A&M, they put it in the news. It filters over to Houston, and then they're like, what? So
wait, they got all the way home, and they didn't realize they forgot a 200-pound owl?
No, this was the game was in Rice. So the Texas students go back. It was like the Texas A&M students go back. Yeah. So the Rice students are just missing their owl.
No one's checking on it?
They weren't thinking. But
who's in charge of cleaning the owl after the games?
That's a really good question.
I
will
blame
put that
him.
to our researcher and
Thank
get back to you on that.
Thank you.
Who's the owl cleaner here? So Texas A&M, right? They have the owl. They've managed to get it back, and the Rice students figure this out. So what are they going to do? They lie. They decide, you know what? We're going to say they didn't steal the owl. So they build a new owl, and they put that on campus, and they insist that's the original owl.
Like when a kid loses a stuffed animal and the parents go get an identical one.
So they try that. And now the only thing that has to do is pretty much suffice for all of the students and the local population. They can show the newspaper, well, see, we still have our owl, but they know the truth. So they're like, we got to get our owl back.
Yeah.
So 17 students get together, a bunch of student athletes, members of the track team, football team, basketball team. They create the Owl Protective Association. So they decide, 2 days after this owl is stolen, that they're going to get their owl back. And so then they hire a private detective. That's their first move. They're like, we need somebody to find out where the owl is. So
Slide one.
Yeah. So get ourselves a private dick and we'll get him to go looking for it. So the private detective, they go and they meet this guy and he's like a grizzled 1917 private detective, probably, beat up railroad strikers for the Pinkertons.
Yeah,
I don't know this guy, right?
Retired
He's a
Pinkerton.
hard dude, right? So they pay him to travel to College Station and hunt around for the owl. He does. He's like, okay, I'll go out to College Station and I'll telegraph you guys when I find it, right? So the private dick takes the student's money, goes off to College Station. They don't hear from him. They're like, maybe we made a mistake.
A little bit.
So they then decide, okay, we need to go over to College Station to find out what's going on. So they have to sneak onto the campus. Remember, these are all cadets. So they go to the store, like the Army-Navy store, and they get some Army uniforms, right? So
Wait, they didn't already have uniforms?
No, the Rice students are just college students. They're just like rich kids, college students. Texas A&M is the cadets. So the Rice students have to go get uniforms so they can sneak onto Texas A&M's campus, right? So they managed to do this. Now, they have all the uniforms and they're going to go. You have to understand, Texas A&M, as I told you, military institute. So they have real military officers who are armed as sentries on the campus. They've got bull sergeants, as they call them, who run around, who tell the students what to do. So they're sneaking onto essentially a military base.
Like a demi base.
Fort in Texas.
Yeah.
Right? So the Rice students, they got their work cut out for them. So when they get to town, turns out their detective was on the case. He didn't just take their money and steal away into the night. That's what I thought when I was reading this. Turns out he did, find the guys who may have stolen it. But he's like, I couldn't find the owl. I hate to tell you guys. They're like, oh, man, that sucks. That's terrible news. It's a dark night. It's raining. They're like, well, we already came all the way to College Station, which is about like a 90-mile, 100-mile trip. So they're like, I guess while we're here, we can hunt around. So they hunt around on the Texas A&M campus, pretending to be cadets rather.
Yeah.
And they have with them 2 transfer students who know the university. So they're like, okay, where's the dormitories? Where would they put this, right?
Turncoats they have.
Exactly. They have these 2 turncoats. So the scouts they send out, they search all of the buildings except for the dormitories because there'll be too many people who may recognize them. But everything other than that, they're avoiding sentries, military guards, the whole bit. They can't find the owl. No luck, right? So the OPA, their scouts who go off, they return to Houston. 4 more days pass. They're starting to sweat. People are starting to question the owl they have in the campus because it doesn't quite look right. So they're like, okay, well, this may be beyond us. We need to hire a new detective. So they're rich kids. They throw some money together and they hire a second detective. This dude's name, I swear to God, is Snowball. So
that's it? Just Snowball?
That's the only thing he's referred to.
It was a cat.
It's Snowball. Yeah, like he's a cat. Like Snowball the cat. Producer Dave, spot on with the acknowledgement of the Snowball is essentially like his code name, but it's the silliest damn code name he could come up with. And he's in Texas, right? So Snowball shows up. I'm your hard-bitten detective. What do you guys need, right? And they're like, it's like, I'll take the case.
Snowball like the nose tootins?
No.
Is that why they call him that?
No, I think he's just a sweetheart. So
he's just a little powder puff.
He promises, I'll find your 200-pound owl mascot or whatever effigy you got, right? And so Snowball drives out to College Station and he starts snooping around and he poses as a Houston area newspaper reporter. He's like, I heard about the owl nab and I want to get the story. And the kids are like, oh, that's great. Yeah, because they want the story to go back to Houston and embarrass all the Rice students in their town. So they never question the story. He manages to get in and meet the actual Texas A&M bird nappers. They show him the bird because he's like, I need pictures for the paper. They're like, okay, we'll take you this way. They take him up to the place where they're hiding the bird. He snaps his photos and he's like, okay, the bird's here. And he's like, thank you guys, pretends to be a reporter and leaves. Then he goes out to the telegram office, telegrams Rice, and he's like, they've got the bird. He sends a coded message. The bird's nickname is Sammy. That's what the Rice students call him. So he sends his coded message. Sammy is fairly well and would like to see his parents at 11 o'clock.
Oh, the subterfuge.
Yeah, exactly. So now the plot is completely in motion. And after this short break, I will be right back to tell you the next installment in this insane tale.
Nice.
Okay, Elizabeth, you ready for more of the great owl theft?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the Rice students, right? They now know that the bird is still fine. It exists, and their detective, Snowball, has found it for them, so they need to get into action, right? The 17 members of their OPA are called out on a raiding party, and they're ready to roll.
What's the OPA?
The Owl Protective Association.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Sorry, I should keep you up with the acronym. So they decide that Snowball's message, and I quote, was a signal that the owl had been located and that its capture was now a matter of daring. So daring is called for, and daring is what they're prepared with.
A feat of daring do.
Yeah, exactly. So the 17 members of the OPA, the Owl Protective Association, they rock up in 2 old Fords and a Hudson Super 6. They load up all 17 people in these 3 cars, right?
Oh.
Now, the second car I just mentioned, the Hudson Super 6, that was introduced in 1916, much like professional football. So it was called the Super 6 because it had an inline 6-cylinder engine. It was one of the fastest cars of its time. It was a high-performance engine. Like I said, the Rice students, rich kids, often, right? Yeah. So they've got this car that has a distinctive 72 horsepower, just blazing for 1917.
Really ripping it up.
That's 40 more horsepower than you get from a similar-sized Hudson the year prior, right? So we're talking like real fast. Now, if you were wondering, top speed, 75 miles per hour.
That's pretty fast.
For our non-American listeners, 120 kilometers.
Excellent.
Now, fun fact, the Joad family, when they went west in the Grapes of Wrath, what they were driving in was a Hudson Super 6.
Whoa,
yep.
Okay.
And now, this is what it looks like. I'm just going to show you a picture of that.
Will you put that up on Instagram?
Yes, I will. And the Hudson Super 6 is probably one of my favorite cars of this era. It just looks really cool, right?
How many did it seat?
It'd probably take standard 5-6 people.
And so we had 17 boys and 3 cars?
This is like in the era when people would try to see how many people they could fit in a telephone booth, Like they were really into squeezing.
Before that era.
It's like, that's more the 20s. But I'm saying leading up to this is the college era of raccoon hats and big fur jackets. And let's see how many people we can get in this rumble seat,
Wacky.
So they're doing all of that. And there's your Texas kids, so they go big with it. They're like, let's put 17 in.
Of course.
So the other 2 cars, those are the 2 old Fords. And when I say old Fords, everybody back then, they just referred to when I read the newspaper accounts, they just said old Fords because there was only the Model T. They didn't have a bunch of Fords. There was previous Model A, but now we're to the Model T, the old Tin Lizzie, right? Top speed, 42 miles per hour.
Woo, blazing.
Yeah, and for the non-American listeners, that's 68 kilometers per hour. So these are, by the way, this is what the Tin Lizzie looks like in case you'd like just a quick recollection.
Yep, see it.
So it's the classic car you think of, like the buggy, if you will.
Yeah.
So we have 17.
It has the horn that goes, "Awooga."
Exactly. So we have 17 young men loaded in these 2 open air cars with thin tires, overloaded with a bunch of football players, and they're headed out into essentially dirt roads for 100 miles to get to College Station, Texas. From Houston to there. I mean, this is not as bad as West Texas, but it's basically Central Texas. So they're going through some mountainous, not quite mountainous region, but the Texas hills country.
Hills and dales.
Yeah, the hill country, and then lots of wooded areas, and they are not going through easy. These are not paved roads.
Yeah.
These are cars that are designed for driving on basically a wagon road.
Sure, yeah.
And it's Texas, so they got plenty of wagon roads. So these 17 men at 11:30 at night, they reach College Station, and that's when they meet up with their private dick, Snowball, right? And Snowball's got some bad news for the boys, right? Now, there was a contemporaneous account of all of this published in the Rice University student newspaper called The Thresher. And The Thresher, in its Thursday, February the 15th, 1917 edition, if you want to look this up on newspapers.com.
Yes.
They had a firsthand account written by members of the OPA. So we have their actual account, and I quote, "The detective was of the opinion that it would be impossible to get the bird as it was on the 3rd floor of the U.S. Armory, the strongest room at A&M. But he stated there was a sporting chance to win out." So he's like, look, they got it in basically the fort on campus and on the 3rd floor. So you have to fight your way in, and they're military. So good luck with you little
Godspeed.
You guys are college athletes, so give it a sporting chance, right? 4 men decide, okay, we need to go see what the lay of the land is. And they go out on a scouting mission, right? Their names are, for the sake of this story, Fulwiler, Billups, Moore, and the leader, Jimmy Waters.
Okay.
These 4 will be the only ones whose names I'll be telling you because they will come up over and over again. They are essentially the leaders of this raiding party, right? So Fulwiler, Billups, Moore, and Waters, they hit the track running. They go and they sneak onto campus. And they are after their 200-pound owl mascot, right? So the 4 men, they elude sentries and these bull sergeants and all the campus cadets, and they enter the U.S. Armory on the ground floor. They make it into the building, right? So now they have to ascend 3 flights of stairs. They manage to do that without catching any of the watchmen who are circling through the building. They're also, students who are on guard because they know they have the stolen owl and they know it's in that building. So any weird sounds or anything will immediately alert suspicions. They decide, okay, we need to do this quietly. So they take out big knives and they try to carve their way through a heavy wooden armory door.
What? So
imagine one of those mission-style California doors where the boards are 9 inches thick.
And it's solid wood.
Solid
it's not
wood.
composite.
They're just going to carve through.
Are you kidding me?
So this noise draws the attention of a watchman as they're just slamming away into the woods.
All these guys need to start going to class.
Oh, just wait. So Jimmy Waters, squad leader, he decides, he hears the watchman coming up the stairs. He's like, we need a distraction. So he's like, I'm going to do something insane. So he runs towards the third-story window, climbs out, and then it gets the watchman's attention before he does this, climbs out of the window, and he manages to walk down the side of the building for the third story.
Wait, what?
Like climbing, like with his hands and his feet.
Like Spidey?
He like Spider-Man climbs down the side of the building.
How?
So the watchman's like, what the hell? So he runs down to the ground floor to be there when he gets done with his three-story climb, right? So the watchman is there when Jimmy Waters hits the ground, but Jimmy Waters is a track star, so he hits the ground and starts running immediately, right? Doesn't even have any hesitation. The watchman chases after him, a perfect distraction.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So the rest inside, they're like, oh, okay, we can get to it. But they hear more watchmen. They're like, ah. So now they're hiding in pools of darkness and shadow, and they wait for 20, 30 minutes. They don't know what to do. So they're like, ah. Now Jimmy's outside just running around for this whole time trying to evade sentries and students and guards, and he's doing it for the most part. So another one of the three who are now inside, they decide, okay, I need to go out and see what's going on. Maybe I can help Jimmy and distract more people and you guys can get in. So he runs out there. And as soon as he gets out there, this kid Fullweiler, he's like trying to make his distraction. He runs right into Jimmy Waters and a bull sergeant who's grabbed him and is questioning him. He's out there. Jimmy Waters is nervous. He's telling his family name, his family's history. He's doing everything he can to be, it's okay, it's okay. So what does Fullweiler do? He just runs right up into him, knocks down the bull sergeant, Jimmy Waters, and he scamper off, right? So now the two of them start leading the bull sergeants on this mad chase. The two of them split up. So everybody's running around. Cadets are starting to get involved, and now they know what's going on. Meanwhile, the other 14 members of the 17 group are watching. They're like, you know what? It's time to blitz the armory. We can't do this skullduggery stuff. So their new plan is charge, right? So they just run onto campus. And so now we have all 17 members of the OPA running around, some big-ass football players, gangly basketball players, track stars, and a bunch of cadets. And they're all chasing each other all around
Mayhem.
In the nighttime and the January air. Because remember, this is also wintertime, so it's cold.
Yeah.
So now, to protect their flanks, these other members of the OPA, they secure the entrances of the U.S. Armory so that the guys upstairs, because everybody knows where they are, they're still trying to get inside. So they block the doors on the ground floor so that way all these bull sergeants and students can't get in. And then a couple of big college football players rush up to go help the guys knock down the door. So they're armed with crowbars and fire extinguishers that they've pulled off of the walls.
Oh, God.
So they run up and they decide, okay, we're all big guys. We'll just knock down this door. So they try using their shoulders first. One guy runs and he gets bounced off, lands on the tile floor. Another guy does it. They're like, this isn't working. So then they decide, we'll go in tandem. So two guys hold hands, two big football players hold hands, and they run at the door, and that doesn't work. And then two more do it. Boom. Oh, it cracks open. The door knocks down. So turns out they didn't need all the crowbars and fire extinguishers. They just needed a couple of big football players to throw themselves, right? So when the door springs open, what did they find?
I have no idea.
The owl is sitting there.
In bed with the general?
No, but good guess. In bed with the general.
I don't know. It just burst in.
Smoking his cigars, looking at the owl like, that was nice.
Yeah.
So the owl.
I don't know what these people do behind closed doors.
It was 1917. Nobody knows, right?
Yeah, exactly.
According to the contemporaneous accounts in The Thresher, the quote, the owl was concealed under some canvas at the rear of the armory. The 6 men seized the old bird, soused him in gasoline, and rushed down 3 flights of stairs to the ground floor where the night watchman was encountered.
Wait, the gasoline. Oh.
Yeah, you're like, wait, gasoline? Why did I hear gasoline in there, right? Good ears.
Thank you.
So they were confronted by this night watchman, right? And so they tell him, oh, we're students from Texas A&M. We're trying to protect it. They got these, troublemakers running around on campus. We're going to go hide the bird. And the night watchman's like, where are you taking him? He's like, right over there. And then they just run in the other direction. Night watchman's like, wait, what are you doing? They run it over to a car. They throw it in the Hudson Super 6, and that car takes off. This bull sergeant night watchman, he gets pissed. He pulls out his .44 and starts firing.
Oh,
yes.
What?
Now the students have to run. They hop in the Tin Lizzies, they hop in the Hudson Super 6, and they're tearing around. But they're not done. They don't want to just get away. They decide, let's carve some donuts in the grass. So they start doing circles and doing donuts, and they're getting fired at, mind you. So the OPA is pretty stoked they got back their owl, right? So, and meanwhile, there's a couple others who've not quite made it to the car. They decide to grab some paint that they found, and they paint the score of the last football game that they won, 20-0, on the side of a building in giant numbers, right?
This is so crazy.
More warning shots are firing out. Bugles are being blown. Students are yelling. And at this point, the OPA is like, look, we're pressing our luck. So they decide to floor it and tear ass out of there, and they manage to escape the campus, right? Now they've got to drive from College Station back to Houston. It's about 100-mile trip, as I told you, which should take about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But if you're going 42 miles an hour, it'll take more like, solid 2 hours.
Right.
This is if they can make it there. Because remember, now they got hundreds of college cadets who are about to give chase.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, I'd like you to close your eyes and picture it.
My eyes are closed.
Okay. It's the dark of night. It's January in Texas. The air is cold. The wind is howling as it blows. And there you are with the OPA riding shotgun in the old Ford Tin Lizzie. Ahead of you is another Tin Lizzie, and ahead of that is the year-old Hudson Super 6. The roads are bad, and you're getting jumped and bumped around in your seat as you guys are rocking and rolling down this dirt road. The car loaded down with other students, members of the OPA. You're all racing back to Houston. You're all fired up. You're excited. You're yelling. But you have this tiny fear inside of you because you're like, this doesn't seem like we've gotten away with it. I don't know why, right?
That would be me.
Your fears are confirmed when the first Ford in the Caravan, its headlights go out.
Oh.
Hits a bump, light goes out. You're like, that's no good. So now you guys are in the middle of Texas, nowhere. You got no electric lights. It's just endless darkness, right? So you need these headlights. So you're like, let's forget that car. Well, no, we need it. So there's too many of us. Okay, you bid in back and we'll keep going. So now they put the car with no headlights in the back and they keep running, right? So now you're in the lead car of the Caravan and you're bouncing around, rolling along still. Another miles passes. Now your lights are out. You guys hit a bump. Your lights get cut out.
What is going on with these?
Fords. What can I tell you, Elizabeth?
Stop it. You close your mouth.
So now that the lights are cut out, both Fords are running blind, right? So the Hudson Super 6 takes over as the lead car.
Maybe the Fords were doing it just because they knew they had to be secret.
Well,
it was purposeful, these sentient Fords.
They're doing really well in the back of the line, so let's just take it from there. So the Hudson Super 6 is leading this Caravan. The Fords are trying to keep up, doing their 42 miles an hour in the dark. Now, before you can curse, or I could curse Henry Ford's good name, there's another big rut in the road, and it tosses the Ford in front of you. It hits their brakes after they land, and your Ford slams into them. Boom! You basically destroy the front end of your car. Now your Ford doesn't even operate. So now you have one less car, so everyone's like, oh, well, this is no good. As the car's shuddering to a stop, you're like, everybody get in the other cars. So now they got running boards, they got laps.
Just clinging
so
to the roof.
People are just like laying on other people. People are clinging on the running boards.
People in the back can't feel their legs.
No, not exactly, not at all. But now you and the one operable Ford and the Hudson Super 6, you're tearing away, all 17 of you in there and you. And your night raid is really not going too well so far.
No.
But
I mean, we got the owl.
So far, yeah. It looks like, you're overcoming most obstacles.
Yeah.
Except for you notice there's a new obstacle emerging from the darkness. It's this bright light. And then you hear the train whistle and you're like, oh no. Because the whole plan was to get to College Station and you guys would do your raid after the last train had left. So that way the cadets couldn't take a train and just get back to Houston. But you decided to rush it. Remember, you go, charge. Messed up your timing. And now the train is rushing along. And you look over and you spy, hundreds of students, cadets, hanging out of every window of the Limited that's running to Houston.
What?
They're screaming and shouting because they can see you guys and you can see them. You're not that far away. You on the dirt road, them on the tracks, and they are clipping along. It looks like they're going to get back to Houston before y'all.
Oh, no.
So what do you do, Elizabeth? Like, what's the move? You're still in shotgun. What's your call?
I would stop and wait till morning. Let them go and cool their jets in Houston and wait and wait and wait. Mm-hmm. And then meanwhile, I've killed a coyote and roasting it up. And then I go to Austin. I just go on a little tour. But when it's light out, then you don't need your headlights.
Yeah, good point. Well, they listen to most of your plan, except for they go, you know what? We should go one further than that, Elizabeth. Stopping isn't enough. So let's just go with the Threshers account because I want you to hear it in their words. Quote, "It was impossible to make any speed on the road, so the party turned around and started back towards College Station. They turned up the first lane they found and a wild ride of 5 miles through the woods ensued. They decide, let's head back towards College Station. Then they start like, that's not a good idea. Make a right. So then they start heading north. So now they're heading north in Texas into the darkened woods. And they rabbit off into the woods trying to make a run for it. Do you think they're going to get away with it?
No.
After a quick break, I'll be back with the end of this insane tale.
I love it.
Okay, Elizabeth, so where were we?
Car chase, poor decisions on the part of the owl
OPA,
people.
the Owl Protective Association.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're headed into North Texas, North Dallas 40, we'll call it.
Okay.
And the OPA is on the run from hundreds of Texas A&M military cadets. You got 100 miles to get back to Houston, and however many miles to get back to College Station. One of your Tin Lizzies is not working. The other one is limping after the Hudson Super 6. No lights, right? Hit it. So, of course, things aren't going well, and you now then break down again 1 mile down the country road that you guys have just gone, and I return to the Threshers' coverage. The remaining Ford soon gave up on the struggle and was left with 5 men to guard it and to draw pursuit away from the big car containing the owl. So the raiding party now is all in the Hudson Super 6, however many people they can load in that car.
They left 5 to watch. So there's 12 people in this car.
And there's 12 people loaded up in this Hudson Super 6 and a 200-pound owl.
Yeah.
So that's 6 feet tall. So after
that's right.
After 4
So there are 13 in this car.
Yeah. So after 4 more miles, the Super 6 runs out of gas because they've
They've been driving all night.
No, worse than that. They've knocked a hole in the gas tank going over all these rocks and ruts and roads, right? So now the OPA is like, okay, we got no cars. We're in the middle of Texas and we have a 6-foot-tall, 200-pound owl. We've got to carry 80, 90 miles.
And isn't the owl covered in gasoline?
Yes, it's covered in gasoline. Hours have passed now. The night is beginning to give way to dawn. So the purple hour is approaching. And Snowball, the private detective, he's with them. He's with the raiding party.
Oh, so there are now 14 actually in this.
Because he decided it was, quote, a sporting proposition to go along with the guys and see if he could rescue the owl.
So he's trying to regain his youth.
Yeah, he goes off and they break up into 2 parties. One of the parties will go into the closest town and see if they can get gas as soon as the sun comes up and then come back to the 2 cars that they're going to park and hide in some woods. That's their plan.
So it's like shirts and skins. Yeah, and we'll send the shirts
to town. Skins will hang out with the owl and then hide in the woods, right? That's the plan. And hopefully they can get maybe a friendly mechanic to come and either come back with them and fix the cars, or they can load the cars up with gasoline, drive to town, and get the cars fixed there, right? That's the plan. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the Texas A&M cadets, right? What are they doing in all of this? Remember, they were racing on the train. That was only some of them. There's 1,200 students who will be involved in this chase.
Wait, so how many were on the train?
A couple hundred, yeah.
I
never give you an exact number.
They're now just sitting
they're on their way to
hands
Houston.
in
They're
Houston.
waiting in Houston, just being troublemakers.
And then you got 1,000 of them coming up.
Yes, that's about right.
They need to go back to class.
We have an account from the Thresher that can give you some exact numbers.
I want to give the Thresher a hand.
Hey-o!
But not as a farm accident. Every time you say Thresher, all I think is you got your hands done in the throat.
You immediately go there.
Yeah,
I like that about you. So I quote from the hand-taking Thresher.
Yes.
The A&M cadets had been busy organizing their pursuit. Everything that had 4 wheels had been requisitioned and pressed into service. 800 cadets were brought up to the firing line in automobiles, motorcycles, wagons, buggies, and of course the train.
This is like Mad Max.
Yes. So it doesn't take long for these 800 cadets going off in every direction to find the raiding party that's out in the woods just down on a road, right?
Now, hold on. When they find this little the raiding party, what are they going to do to them? Just tear them limb from limb?
Just wait.
Oh, no. Wait, this isn't a 1% murder.
No, there's no murder in this one. But there's
It's the untold story.
peculiarities coming up. So, you ready?
God. Yeah.
Well, I returned to the thresher. A detachment of cadets raided Milliken and found all of Rice's means of locomotion in the garage. So the guys who had gone off to the town of Milliken with their car, they get discovered. And I continue the quote. They immediately took charge of the cars. 9 Rice men who had been left to delay pursuit as long as possible were captured with the cars. One of the people captured, Snowball, the private detective.
Snowball, the kitty detective.
So the other half of the raiding party, they get a messenger back from Milliken. He runs out of town and makes it back to where they are hiding the cars in the woods and tells them, you guys need to run for it. They're on to us. We don't have a car. So they're like, okay, so what do? They decide we're going to just run for it. So they decide to take this 200-pound owl and run back to Houston. So they start running across the tall grass to save themselves. So,
no.
And I quote,
this didn't happen. You're making all this up.
Running with a 200-pound owl was a larger contract than the exhausted men could fill, and all hopes of taking the bird wholesale were abandoned. The A&M searchers were hot on the trail, so the 8 men hid themselves in a thicket and skinned the cover off the owl and the hide given to 4 men with instructions to take it to Houston.
It's a tauntaun.
The stuffing was then set on fire as it had been discovered that the party was completely surrounded by cadets. So they burned the owl.
Oh my God.
Now, the thing is the gasoline makes it so there's not much smoke. So they almost get away with it, but one of the cadets notices the flame, and then they go rushing over to where they're hiding in the thickets. So now 4 of the guys, the leaders of the OPA, so this is Fulweiler, Drummond, and my boy Moore and Jimmy Waters.
Yeah.
They take the owl skin and they make a break for it. The others try to distract. So Sam the owl is handed over to the 4 fastest. They're all members of the track team.
That's
they're like,
disgusting.
run for it. So and the other 4, they lead the Aggie search party that's surrounding them in the wrong direction, right? And they're like, making a lot of noise. Run for it, guys, trying to get their attention.
Yeah.
Jimmy Waters is leader of what we now call the Elusive 4. The Elusive 4 are going to be officially a dude named Dane, a dude named Payne, a dude named Waters, and Drummond. So
this is like a weird old-time nursery rhyme.
Totally. Payne and Dane, Waters and Drummond.
Skinned the owl, and off they went together.
So, and I quote, they entered some thick woods and had over 50 men on their coattails in no time at all. The 4 men had been well chosen, however, and the pursuers were soon distanced. Remember, track stars. So the squad runs 2 miles with the owl skin hidden on them, and they get to a major road, right? So they start waiting for a car to pass, hoping somebody will be there. It's now morning time, right? And I quote, it's now 10 a.m. Wednesday, and the party had been without food and water since noon on Tuesday. A well was soon found in a small clearing, and the 4 men quenched their thirst. So now they're sitting there like finally getting some nourishment to keep their bodies going.
So they don't die of exposure in this stupid prank.
Exactly. So a bunch of cadets spot them, and they come running across a cotton field after them. So they're like, oh, they're coming for us, right? They start running, and the original 50 cadets who were just seeing them at the thicket of woods, they come from the other direction. So they now run another 2 miles under full chase, right? The track stars are so exhausted at this point. Jimmy Waters can't run over a 1-foot fence. He trips over a 1-foot fence. Dane gets tangled up in grapevines over and over again. Then there's this dude, Payne. He tries to jump a 4-foot creek, and he lands in the middle. He goes 2 feet.
Oh,
these are all track stars. They're so
tired.
exhausted. Their bodies are like pulling a full Zola bud. They're pretty much going to just collapse, right? So at this point, right, we're getting into the afternoon hours, right? And I quote, the pursuers were finally ditched, and the refuge was taken in a thick bunch of overgrowth where the parties slept until 3:30 p.m., keeping 1-hour watches each. So now they've gone full military, and they're doing 1-hour watches trying to get away from these cadets. So at 3:30, they're awoken by the sound of a group of cadets who've discovered their hiding place, right? So the 4 track stars are like, we're going to have to split up, guys. We need someone to run distraction. So now they take the owl skin, they tear it in half, they wrap it around their bodies.
What
2
is
of
the
them,
point at now?
They've got to get this owl home. So the other 2 run off in the other direction, making a lot of noise. Well, the 2 guys who have the owl wrapped around their bodies run off, and they're doing it like, I don't even know. They have like this vim and vigor and the zeal of like the French resistance. Like they are willing to do whatever to beat these military, right? So the 4 crawl on their bellies through the tall grass to escape. They make it out of the thicket in 2 different directions, right? And now the Elusive 4 reunite, and they get to another road, and they find that the road is blocked not because of cadets for once. This time it's just because there's basically river water, storm water rushing past. The little bridge is blocked, right? So they're like, okay, what are we going to do? That's when they hear a car approach. They're like, oh no, right? There's nowhere for them to hide. There's nowhere to go. They can't cross the river. They're up against the wall. And I quote, a car was heard crashing through the brush, and it was coming directly towards them. So the men had to interrupt their planning and hit out for cover. 2 with the owl skin remained in hiding while the 2 went forward to investigate. The car was occupied by hunters. And the first question was to ask the best way to get across the river. Who got the owl? Was the reply. What owl? You know, tell us. We can help you out. So this is a group of Texas duck hunters, men, full-grown ass men. They come across these kids and they're like, "We've heard all about this."
That's you know, it's a good thing it wasn't like a good man is hard to find scenario.
No, definitely not. These hunters had been stopped on their way to go duck hunting, and their vehicle had been searched. So they were well aware. By the cadets. They're doing like a full lockdown now, right?
Calm down. It's not even their. Oh.
So these hunters are tickled pink by these 1,200 cadets trying to find the elusive 4. So they're like, yeah, we'll help you guys out. This is great, right? So the hunter's like, but just a second, we're going to keep shooting some ducks. So they make them wait for 3 more hours while they get their fill of ducks, right? Once the duck hunters are done, they're like, okay, boys, it's 7 p.m. Let's go back to town. So they tell them, they're like, okay, we can take a couple of you. A couple of you should probably stay here because, you know, they're going to stop us again. So one of the duck hunters, he changes clothes with the dude named Dane, and then he hides in the back with the dude named Drummond. They hide in like a toolbox in the back of the truck, right?
So the hunter and Drummond.
One of the hunters and Drummond are in the back, and then Dane is up front with the other hunter, and they take off in the truck, right? The truck does get stopped by cadets at the first bridge that they reach, right? It gets closely examined. They manage to pass the inspection. But then right before they're about to leave, one of the cadets is like, I'm going to go right back into town with you. Like slaps the back of the truck. He climbs in back and he sits on the toolbox.
No, I would not stop for these guys. If they were like, halt, I'd look at them and be like,
armed.
I don't care. No,
they're military
they're not
cadets.
Real military.
Yes, these are armed cadets in uniform.
Not in my book.
They're
all pimple-faced. I'd be like, now try again and just keep driving. He gets on the car, I slam on the brakes and he slides down on the hood and then I run him over.
In like 5 months'
1%.
time, these are all going to be kids on the front.
Well,
they're like full-on soldiers. Like they're acting like it. I'm just telling you, pimple-faced or not, they got guns and they're like, look, this truck ain't going anywhere. So Payne and Jimmy Waters, right? They're with the guy who's got the car, right? And he gets them back to town. They get out before they get to town. He's like, you guys can walk the rest of the way in.
Yeah.
And they made that choice, and it was a good choice to make because the driver, when he gets to town, he gets stopped and he gets arrested and taken in under custody.
Arrested by the cadets?
Yes. There are 300 cadets in this tiny Texas town, and they have taken over. And I quote...
They took over the town?
And I quote from the Thresher. You ready? The cadets had complete control of all telephone and telegraph lines, had all roads blocked, and were searching all trains that passed. So all means of communication and transportation were under vigilance.
So they declared martial law in this area
to get this owl back.
Is there any authority figure over these guys?
The military.
Well, no, I mean they're just a bunch of cadets. Like who's their boss guy? Who's going to be like, boys?
Texas college sports. I don't know what to tell you. This is the authority.
This is so crazy.
So these grown-ass men, the duck hunters, they're willing to join the resistance with the elusive 4.
Yes.
So that they then call in another friend once they get back to town who is a doctor. And they're like, okay, now the phone lines are all being tapped and monitored, so they have to use a code language.
Oh, my God.
So they tell the doctor that they need some capsules, and they've got some other capsules, and could you bring them to the house? And he's like, yeah, I'll come by. So
the doctor knows this code, like they pre-established it, or is he like, oh, I guess he needs capsules?
He's friendly with the hunters. This may not be the first time they've had to do stuff like this. So he very quickly catches up with them, right? Yes. Now we have Payne and Waters. They go out and they climb into this car because they're going to they'd waited outside of town. So the guy gets out and drives out of town. The doctor picks them up, and the car was run at high speed and all challenges ignored, is how they put it, right? And at one point, the doctor's car with Waters and Payne in it approaches a blocked bridge, right? And the cadets are lining the road. And the doctor's like, what do you guys want me to do? The road's blocked. And they're like, is there any way out? He's like, I think I see a way. So this is a checkpoint, like a war film.
Yeah.
Also, meanwhile, there are 13 of their comrades who've been captured, and they're being held at this bridge by the cadets. So there's hundreds of cadets, and their own comrades, if you will, are standing there. Then the doctor starts revving his engine. Is like, boys, hang on. So he then floors it in his whatever 1916 car. He drives down the ditch, punches it. He gets up to about 50 miles an hour and then rides up the other side of the ditch and jumps like the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard. They break free from gravity for a little bit.
You are making this up.
No, I swear, this is all real.
This is a burrito cannon. This didn't really happen.
The captured members of the OPA, they go nuts. They're cheering as this car is in the air, right? The car eventually lands with a huge crash back on Earth and then roars away at full speed. Old cars. What can you do?
Oh, my goodness.
The cadets immediately give chase. They run and get in their cars, and they tear after the doctor's car. And the doctor, he's a hellacious driver. This ain't his first rodeo, so he's tearing through Texas.
Yeah.
He's enjoying the chase, right? He manages to get Payne and Waters over to the other house. They reunite with Dane and Drummond, who are still in hiding at this time. Now all of them are together, and the five of them make a break for it and race back to Houston. So the doctor's like, let's go. They run back to Houston. This is now the moment before dawn on another day.
Right.
Once again, we've reached the purple hour, and these four men make it back to the Rice campus at 7:30 a.m. on Thursday morning, and they still had the skin of their 6-foot-tall, 200-pound owl.
3 pieces of it, yeah.
Now, Elizabeth, you may be wondering at the conclusion of all this.
I'm wondering a lot right now.
What happened to the 13 dudes who were captured who were cheering at the side of the bridge?
Oh, 1%.
Great question.
1%.
No, but they were taken prisoner and they were held at Texas A&M in the military prison, or the brig or whatever it was, right? And the president of Rice University had to negotiate with the president of Texas A&M to get the safe return of the 13 captured members of the OPA night raid.
So he negotiates with terrorists, apparently.
Apparently. See, I've heard that Texans don't do that.
Yeah, right.
Now, you may also be wondering, and I know you were, what happened to Snowball?
I guess I am wondering that now.
It's the best part.
Oh, God.
And I quote from the Thresher. Snowball gets paraded around campus, given a regulation Army haircut, turned over to the freshmen for a few days. He was eventually taken to the station late at night, minus his clothes, and told to catch the train. He was said he wasted no time getting aboard.
Wait. What does it mean turned over to the freshman for a few days? And he comes out and
Yes, I think you can just let your imagination wander on that one. So yeah, the freshmen turn him out, and then he gets taken to the train station.
Afterwards, did he change his name to Snowball because he didn't want anyone to know who he was?
Could you imagine being a private detective and having to go home and say, how was your weekend?
Okay, could you imagine being a private detective, A, named Snowball, B, who gets hired to find a mascot, and gets into this absolute
turns into one of the boys
that you're making up in 2020. What? Why Snowball?
Texas College Sports. That's my answer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I want to hear from the descendants of Snowball.
We should see if we can find them.
If you are a descendant of Snowball, reach out. We want to hear the real story.
We would like to know what became of Snowball after this.
We want to honor his memory.
So, Elizabeth, what's your ridiculous takeaway?
My ridiculous takeaway is I'm having a lot of trouble processing this right now.
It's pretty much broken your brain from what I can tell.
I can't speak. I don't know the year.
Try this. Just say these two words. Roll Tide. That may pull it back.
Okay, deep breath. Roll Tide.
That help?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Oddly enough, it totally helped. Yeah.
Yeah, Bear Bryant would be so happy.
Yeah.
Hook 'em horns.
Totally.
That's another one. See if that one works for you. That's Texas.
Hook 'em horns. Everything feels so good.
That's SEC football, baby. Right there. That's SEC football.
There it is.
Everything feels so good, except for the losing. Well, my ridiculous takeaway, thank you for asking, is I grew up in the South, and I still can't believe this happened. This is one of my favorite stories of Southern sports ever.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? Ridiculous.
Get ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
But thank you for joining us. I'm Zaron Burnett. That over there is...
An owl.
An owl named Miss Elizabeth Dutton. You can find us online at Ridiculous Crime on both Twitter and the Gram. Twitter is the one for the discourse. That's where we post stuff that's about the cases. And Instagram's where we put up the photos for each episode. They will reveal to you what these people look like, what the cars look like, and so forth. The stories are posted for giggles. Also, you can get sneak peeks for upcoming episodes. Email us if you want at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by Dave It Rhymes with Houston Couston. Research is by the president of the Rice Historical Prank Society, Marissa Brown. Our theme song is by Thomas Payne and Dane Lee and Travis Super 6 Dutton. Executive producers are Ben, we're the leaders of the Owl Resistance, Bolin, and Noel, hey, don't tell anyone, Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.